This episode of the Patrick Coffin Show brought to you by MyPillow. You cannot restore the culture unless you are restored. I love these things. I walked by their demo table 100 times in Costco before I finally pulled the trigger. Reached out to Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow. Have a great relationship with them. I bring MyPillow. It's the last thing I stick in my suitcase before I go on a trip. They're really amazing. I'm very picky about pillows. I've spent $150 on a pillow once. It still feels like a brick. So go to mypillow.com, get a massive discount. I'm not even going to tell what the discount is. Trust me. mypillow.com, my name Patrick gets you the coupon code. It's all USA made, money back guarantee. No risk, high blessing. They even make towels now, which you will love. So mypillow.com or call the following number, 800-794-9652. That's 1-800-794-9652. mypillow.com. You're welcome in advance. Let's talk about God's will for our lives. How do we know we're making the right decision? Do we leave the girl? Do we marry the girl? Do we write the book? Do we read the book? Do I invest my evening in this activity? Why wouldn't I do that? Is there someone in my life I need to forgive? How do I make a decision? And what kinds of strategies does our enemy, the devil or Satan, use in studying us and finding our weak points? We're going to talk about rules for spiritual discernment and the spiritual war that is waged all around us each and every single day. If you don't know there's a war going on, you're probably already on the wrong team. Dan Burke is here to talk about it. He's got a new book, and I can't wait to dig into it with him right here on The Patrick Coffin Show. Dan Burke, former longtime COO of EWTN News. He's the author of over a dozen fine books, now the founder and director of the Avila Institute for Spiritual Formation. Dan, welcome, sir. Good to have you.
It's great to be with you, Patrick.
Spiritual warfare and the discernment of spirits. You've written a lot on this area. Why did you decide to summarize the work of the great St. Augustine, him too, the great St. Ignatius of Loyola and his rules, his spiritual discernment advice? Why this book?
Why now? Yeah, as you know, the darkness is really descending pretty heavily, both inside and outside the church, particularly inside the church. And people are struggling, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, all of the negative emotions that go with everything that's going on. And I've really been blessed to overcome a lot of that in my own life and through the mystical tradition of the church, through scripture. And I just thought it was time to make the wisdom of St. Ignatius more accessible, because there are great books out there by Father Timothy Gallagher on discernment of spirits and Father William Watson. But I think part of the role I play in the church in our time is really trying to help bring, I don't like lowering the cookies analogy, because it implies a kind of a watering down, but without watering down the power and the wisdom, making these most important truths accessible. And so why now? It's dark, and that's why. The other thing is there are false pseudo remedies that are very popular now in the church, unfortunately, just like in the 70s with a lot of the non-Christian Eastern spirituality creeping in. It's happening again, and mindfulness and sort of a Buddhist infiltration of Catholic mystical tradition, which is, I think, very destructive. So those two forces really compelled me to say, you know what, I'm just going to write this book now and see if I can help overcome the false answers and really provide real answers to how is it that we emerge out of this darkness and really even healthy and helping others to do the same.
Dan, we're definitely going to hit these false alternatives, these, as you call them, pseudo remedies, because their name is Legion. For folks who know you and love you, trust you because of your work with EWTN, let me ask you at the outset, why did you leave? Why now?
A combination of factors. One, I've had near terminal illness all my life. I've always played on the edge of serious health issues, and I've always played injured. And it's never really dictated my career. But as I'm getting older, I'm not winning the battle as well as I would like. And that combined with the dramatic growth and impact of the Avila Institute and also the pressures of running a global news organization really forced me to make a very tough decision, because I love, Edith. I think you would agree with me. Mother Angelica, Fulton Sheen, if you pick two figures, American figures in our time, have done more to keep the ship righted, if you will, in the United States than any other. And the mission of EWTN is incredible and important. But the remaining years I have in my life, I felt convicted that I needed to give more time to writing books like this, more direct on the ground impact. I see EWTN as like the mighty Air Force of truth in the church, and Avila Institute and what we're doing at spiritualdirection.com is more ground troops, and that's where I'm going to give the remaining whatever years the Lord grants me. I'm going to give it there.
Hey, this is Patrick Coffin. If you like what you see and hear and you want to see and hear more, consider joining Coffin Nation as a full member. Just click right here and find out more about what that means. Nipsey, my fedora. That's Coffin Nation, the world's largest online community of culture builders. Click right here. See you on the inside.